I'm the first CMO of Ryanair, so I'm kind of pulling together a function that hasn't existed before. I'm responsible for sales, customer service and marketing in Ryanair. So it started at the start of the year in terms of officially when we started to say, right, here's our plan. We started to make big improvements in the customer experience at the back end of last year, where we changed some of the policy that we had on things like fees. We introduced a second free carry-on bag, and then in January we introduced allocated seating. So we made some fairly big changes to the in-flight experience. We then packaged those up in a plan which we call the Always Getting Better plan, which is what is guiding us through this transformation. And we're really happy with everything we've done in the past 10 months. I think the customer perception before was Ryanair has the best fares, absolutely. Ryanair has the best choice of places to go to, but the service can be a bit rough around the edges. The perception now is Ryanair's fares are probably even cheaper. The choice of destinations is still as good as it was, but very importantly, Ryanair is flying to some key primary airports that for business travellers, that's a big change in the perception and the reality of the Ryanair product for them. And thirdly, I think people are genuinely taken aback with the difference in the actual experience from using the website, from using the app, from getting our emails, from making a booking, changing a booking, how we present ourselves as a brand at airports, how we present ourselves as a brand on board, the in-flight experience and everything we do after. So we've made significant progress in what people see as Ryanair, their consideration, their awareness, their willingness to recommend Ryanair to others, and we're really happy with that progress. Yeah, we probably didn't have a definitive tone of voice beforehand. I think there's always been an element of controversy, an element of cheekiness about Ryanair, very good tactical, relevant, topical communications, but not as sustained. This is our price conversation, this is our brand conversation, and we've now established that. We are owning the everyday low fares territory in the category across Europe. So very happy with the tone of voice we've established on the value conversation. We've also kind of have had a bit of a go at ourselves in the first campaign that we launched with good use of irony, talking about the changes that we've introduced and customers being genuinely surprised that, wow, Ryanair has changed. And similarly with the Business Plus product that we've launched. And in terms of the tone of voice, I think we are establishing what is the tone of voice of Ryanair. That will be different, it'll be a little bit more grown up. There'll still be an element of cheeky Irishness in that, and we will have a point of view because we are an authentic brand which has a point of view, and we will do that in a category where there's a lot of placebo. There's a lot of people just say the same thing. We will say what we mean, and we will come across as the most authentic brand, and we will have a bit of fun. We have a lot of fun in the marketing department, and we will continue to do that. It's great to be the CMO and sort of writing the tone of voice. Someone hasn't given me a book and says that's the way we should look and feel and sound. So we are writing that, and we're trying to get the right balance of what's a pan-European tone of voice that works, that's very authentic, that's on the side of customers, and that does enough of the mea culpa, we've listened, we've changed, and now it's better for you. Yeah, big challenges. It's hard managing a brand in 30 markets. We operate in 30 markets across Europe. We're Europe's largest airline. We're a huge brand here in the UK. We're a huge brand. We're the #1 airline in Spain, Italy, Poland, Portugal, the Republic of Ireland and Belgium, and we're the #2 airline in Great Britain. We're quite big then in almost every other country around Europe. So being in a Dublin or a London, coming up with ideas and saying, well, how are these going to work and amplify from Dublin to London to Glasgow to Nice to Gdansk to Rome to Sicily to Athens to Morocco is quite a challenge. Getting a team in place has been a challenge, so we've done a lot of hiring in the past 12 months, and we'll continue to do a lot of hiring, but getting the UX, getting the UI people, getting data scientists, getting brand people on board, getting CRM specialists on board, that's been not a challenge getting them, but just the volume that we have to get, and getting all of that to knit together, that's been a key challenge. So yes, the current campaign and the campaigns that we have since we started to change are resonating across Europe. We see that in the bookings that we have across the countries, particularly the biggest changes and the biggest improvements being here in the UK, in Italy, in Spain, in the Republic of Ireland, where we really see a massive spike in the visits to the website. We see a big increase in conversions to bookings, and when we do qualitative surveys, or we use information like the YouGov information, we see a big turning of the dial in terms of customers' perception of the Ryanair brand. Yeah, the innovation hub, which we call Ryanair Labs, which is really going to now start to kick off from next week when that part of the building actually opens. What we're putting in Ryanair Labs is all the teams within our IT function, and then from the marketing function we're putting in the digital experience team who are responsible for the website, responsible for the app. We're going to put the insight team in there, and we put the digital marketing team. A lot is changing in marketing, and marketing is becoming much closer to technology, and a lot of technology is starting to look like marketing. So we're really taking those two teams, knocking down the barriers between them, putting them in the one building, setting it up in a very agile way so that you get groups of people working on different projects with marketeers and technologists sitting side by side working on things together. So it's going to be really, really exciting. We've made some great hires into that team from a lot of very, very good digital brands, and we're very excited to just start giving them things to do, to really work on the digital platform that we have, but also to start coming up with stuff that the airline category has never looked at. Yeah, the main trends that we see as interesting, Wi-Fi is one. It's harder to do in Europe than it is in the US, but yes, at a point in time in a couple of years, we will all probably take Wi-Fi in flight for granted. iBeacons is interesting. It's probably getting a bit more coverage than it deserves. I think it's relevant and it's interesting, but it's not totally necessary. But we will do an iBeacons trial. We are interested in that. I think in-flight content is another exciting area that we're looking at. And I think there's a bit of a travel nerd in all of us. We get a lot of requests from customers who fly with us to say, did you ever think of putting in a nose camera with an app so that while I'm flying I can actually see what does the pilot see? And people are very interested in the nerdier side of aviation, so we might do a few things in this area as well. In 5 years from now, what would I love people's perception of Ryanair? In 5 years, I would love people saying, remember when Ryanair was, always had the best fares, but it was a little bit nasty in terms of the way it gave us service. Isn't it an amazing thing now that it's Europe's #1 travel brand, that's principally an airline, that it gives incredible value for money, has the best choice of destinations, the best choice of products that kind of suits different segments of travelers, and has a relentless focus on constantly improving the customer experience. That's what I would like people to say in 5 years' time.
So what my product does allows you to shop what you watch. I think we say that we cover all products from all of your popular TV shows. In a nutshell, we build a scene timeline for last night's episode of Scandal, and then every scene from every character, we identify every product that they're wearing in that scene, and then offer the shopping and buy links.